Grounded is a survival game where you are the size of an ant and have landed in the backyard. Here, you must survive and fight the bugs, and most importantly, find out how you got here and how you can escape. Today, I will be playing this survival game, but it is on the hardest difficulty known as Whoa mode. And my only goal is to survive in a very long series where I will 100% the game, get to New Game Plus 4, and many more things. It will not be easy though, as in Woe mode, many things are made harder, such as the bugs having more health and damage, some that will summon other bugs to their aid, will get better summons and often higher quantities of them. Your hunger and thirst will drain more quickly, and many more things are changed to make survival as difficult as possible. This is the beginning of Grounded Woe mode. Hello guys, it's HiGG here. I'm just about to start the world tier. I've selected my character, it's Pete. So, let's do this. Here's a nice name, I guess. Alright, so I'm just going to skip this loading and, well, you'll see me for the intro cutscene. Alright, so you're about to see this intro cutscene here. I won't talk in it, I'll just let you watch it for yourself.
You can't run from me, you foul beast! You think you outsmarted me, the mighty Muldoon? I don't think so, Yokes Girth.
Stay tuned for what happens next on Yokes Girth. Now a word from our sponsor.
Kids, are you ready for a new wild and wacky Punch-O fruit flavor? Introducing Apricot. It's a punch to the gut. So stop by, fill up, and make sure you get your Billy Hog hot dog before you jet away.
Good morning, Brook Hollow. Today is October 20, 1990. This is your news. We have a special breaking report. The police department has released information that more local teenagers have gone missing. They were last seen earlier this week, and the only connection between the teenagers is that they are all students at Brook Hollow High School. This could be linked to the disturbing trend of other possible abductions and missing teenagers from our otherwise quiet town. If anyone has seen the teenagers or has any other information, please contact the police department. The mayor of Brook Hollow has put a curfew into effect for anyone under 18 starting tonight. Now to other news. In the business world, Prominent Practical Technology signed a new deal with
Alright guys, here we are. We've left the kids' case after the intro cutscene there, and we're about to start.
Whoa, Pete. Oh, looks like you really stepped in it this time. Just where in the world are you? Hello? Hello? All right, Pete. Remember your scout training. Step 1, get your bearings. Pose for the truth.
So, here we are in the backyard.
example of the Formicidae family.
And, well, we're really just trying to survive. This is the hardest difficulty though, and it can be quite brutal at times. And that also might be an understatement. It's also quite brutal about all the time. I mean, it affects everything. It even makes your hunger and thirst drain faster. So that file I picked up right there, in case you haven't played the game before, it's a like research file, you might call it, from the scientist known as Wendell.
Well, logic dictates.
Okay, so I'm analyzing these materials right now, which gives me brain power and raw science. In case you don't know, raw science is actually the main currency of this game. Use it to buy a lot of different things.
The size of that thing. It's probably the size of a bathroom scale?
And oh, here's a tape left by that scientist's Wendell. I will just let you listen to that while I work on grabbing some tools for myself.
I was a fool to have ever doubted myself. A fool like Klein, like Kaminsky, like Schmechter, like all of Ominent. I am here in the backyard. Down in the backyard. I mean, I am speaking to you from the backyard. I am tiny! I should gather my thoughts. This is a momentous occasion. Wendell Tully official log, 89.08.05. Recording as I take my first steps into the miniature world. The sights are unbelievable. The textures, the way the light falls upon every surface, the subtle patterns in all of the objects that surround me. The grass! Even common lawn grass looks like a structure from an alien world. Wait. What's that sound? The very earth is trembling. Over there, what could it be? An ant! My God, today, the world has changed forever.
Alright, so for everybody who hasn't played this game before,
Towered and at, say intentions. Your flight path is not cleared.
that is the first piece of lore that we find. Because of course, being a story-driven survival game, the lore has to be told in none other than tapes that you can find around the map. And I'm going to collect all these clover leaves because I can actually make some useful stuff with these. Namely, the clover armor, which will be quite useful for such early game. Wait, does that guy have an Oreo? I think he has an Oreo. Give me your Oreo. No, you are not getting away. No. No. I want your Oreo. No. Give me your Oreo. Oh no. No. I didn't even get the Oreo. In case you're wondering why I didn't take damage from the hit, The combat in this game is about blocking, or specifically perfect blocking / parrying. When you block right as the enemy hits you, you get a parry, and that means that you take no damage from it. So it is actually quite useful. Die. Die. No, no, no! Die! Die! We will never speak of how long that took again. Just forget what you just saw. I never got my ankles broken several times by a single weevil. We are not talking about that anymore. Just forget what you saw. Alright, so as you can see here, we have the mysterious machine, and to progress, I should probably press this right now.
Curiosity killed the tiny Pete.
And as you can see, there's
Well, looks like this thing
3
hooks up with
lasers.
those lasers. I don't think that worked properly. Seems like the machine needs all 3 lasers to function.
So I
Maybe there's
gotta,
a way to fix them?
break this grass to get that laser working. And yep. And then that one, it's being weakened. And before I go fix that, I'm actually going to craft up some of this armor. And
Feeling a little safer now.
this is going to help a lot because it gives Tenderfoot defense, which means I take less damage from tier 1 creatures, which is what I'm going to be fighting. And it gives me trickle regen, which means I just regenerate health like all the time. It's not very much, but it's
Better than
still
starving, I think.
it's still really good. So I'm going to need to get a few more things. First I gotta grab the spear here, since these are going to be pretty useful. But then, let's see what I need to craft. I'm also going to need a hammer and a torch. So I'm gonna have to grab some.
Ah! Here comes another homie gnat!
Oh, I hate those things so much. Should be both. Oh, it just doesn't get the water. Okay. I guess I need to go up there myself. There we go.
Don't even need to boil it.
Okay, there we go. So now I can put this. I'll just leave that right there for now. And I'll put this hammer right here. It's actually going to be useful in just a minute. Let's get all this equipment for this next part overkill. Yes, it definitely was. Am I taking any chances though? No, I am not. When water hits this, like, pools of nasty water, it just gets destroyed. It just gets absorbed
Whoa,
into it.
why don't you just stay over there, small red insect?
Alright, so these are mites. And they are eating up the lasers. Where are they? Oh. Where? Oh. Yeah, they are everywhere. And they are giving me some mite fuzz, which will be useful. So yeah, these guys are just taking bites out of the lasers, which is why they're not working so well. So they're just here eating them. And I believe they should... Yeah, these ones are just one shot by anything. They're just gotta... Anything will take them out. This is why I crafted the
Let
torch.
there be light.
It's going to be quite useful in any cave, really. And I am thirsty again already. Alright, this should be the last of the mites. But first I'm actually gonna break into here. This is why I brought the hammer. And this will give me a few pebblets. Oh, just one. But so
Tremor detected.
there are a few plants growing
Something's
here,
afoot.
but and I can get these later. I just need a better hammer. But one thing is that's here is this.
Scabby, additional flavor scheme available.
So basically, what this does is I can take this and turn it on, and it changes how my Scabby looks. I'm gonna turn this one on though. I don't really like that one. I'm gonna turn this one on because I just like the look of it. And it's time to head out of here.
To drink.
Oh no, I'm on drink or die. So yeah, I've become terminally thirsty. And if I don't drink something by the time that timer goes down, I will, unsurprisingly, die. So, okay, I need to find a dewdrop.
Aphids, nature's lollipops.
Oh no. Come on. Oh no, oh, okay. There's some water here, I'm saved. So as you can see, my screen is actually starting to dim because of this. It's kind of unnoticeable right now, but
Nice and clean.
drink that, you can kind of see it fade away. And if I let that thing go all the way down, I would have, well, like I've said, I would have died. But I'm gonna activate this.
My bad?
Okay, so as you can see there, I caused an explosion somewhere over there, the oak tree. So I'm actually gonna go all the way over there. And I'm actually going to break all of these acorns here, because they're actually going to be very useful pretty soon. Because I can make some armor out of these that I'm going to need. But that's going to be for next episode, because they require a little bit more resources from the hedge over there and the pond down there. Alright, so I'm going to head into here. So this is the lab here. And it's going to contain some very useful things. Alright, so that robot you heard that tape, like just grab that. It's this guy here. And he actually used to be like a cooking robot, but
I could use a hand here.
But Wendell repurposed him.
Bye, Spy.
And you could actually see on his control panel, he does have a kill button on his design. Can't see it too well, but just an interesting detail. And let me just grab this raw science.
You and I are both a little discombobulated.
Good. Now get on with it.
Reprioritizing grilling.
Okay, that was kind of weird. I was not expecting the dialogue to overlap like that. And I'm not going to make you go through several minutes of dialogue here with Burgle. So I'm just going to cut to the end of it, and I'll just give you a recap after it. So I'll see you in a moment. Alright, so basically what he said is that scientist, there's Wendell, has been missing for a while, and we don't know where he is, and that mysterious machine is actually an embiggening device that we need. But, his memory's been fried, so we kind of need to go to the different labs to find chips to restore it. And I'm just gonna use this. These things can take painfully long to use, sadly, but there we go. And I can now do all of this. And I'm actually going to buy these two things. Those are going to be important very soon.
Here, the Oak Lab is the center of operations for the backyard. The second lab
Oh,
is nestled
you
into the
scared me.
hedge.
You scared me
wonderful views from up there.
so much. So this is the Oak Branch. And I can go the other side of it through this cave. So this is just a branch of that oak tree over there that fell off. And if I go this way, I should be able to find this field station, which is going to be very useful, but that's not what we're looking for. Here, under this thing here, this Billy Hog thing, you see all of these sprigs. And this will be quite useful later when I need a lot of sprigs, because there's, I believe, about 200 here, which is a whole lot. But I actually want to go here to show that I am worthy of being the King of England by pulling the sword in the stone. So this is the rotten larva blade here, and it's not as good as like the normal version you can craft yourself, but it is a pretty good early game weapon as it can actually poison enemies and does slashing damage, which some enemies are weak to. So I should be able to just make a small little shelter over here. We'll just grab all these. And I'm actually gonna go and analyze them because... So I'm going to head over here to this little spot by the machine here, or the spacer as you might well call it, and just work on building a little campsite to live in for now. So here's the blueprint for the tent. And let me just get these. Okay, that was not a chopping tool. Let's just forget about that. I'm blind, I guess. I can't see what tools I'm holding. To make a second one over here. Just so it's gonna be a lot smaller than the first one though. And not nearly as furnished either. So I'm going to put a storage chest right there. I'll just turn that a bit. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Alright, so one really nice feature about this game, so we can put this flag on top of here. Even though you can see here that this stuff isn't in my inventory, that plant fiber, I can actually still build and craft with it because it is still used in, well, not use it, but it's in one of my chests, so I can actually use that, which is a very nice feature of this game that I honestly wish more games had. So marker. And let's see. There we go. Camp Hayajiji. So with the beginning of a new day here, and my base as it can be right now.
I wonder if I can keep that aphid as a pet.
I am going to end this episode here. Alright, for the final touch, I'm just going to add this little mount here. There we go. And that got me some raw science, that's nice. And there we go, just a little trophy. And with that, I am going to end this episode here. It was great doing this with all of you, and I'm going to see you next episode, where I'm going to go to the Hedge Lab and get my first super trip. So with that, Hayajiji,